welcome back to the channel. Hey, we're on episode 7. It's going okay. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying it. What are we doing today? We're going to let the Fatboy. We're going to let the Fatboy sit in primer for a bit and dry out before we go anywhere near that. So what I thought we'd start on, back to the instructions, back to number 1. What are we doing? Yeah, we're going to start the frame. So it's a rolled bar frame in this, and I love it. It's just such a great kit. When I built the first one, I really enjoyed putting this frame together. So what I'll do, I'll sort of crack on, and I'll come back to you when I've got something a little bit more to show you. So all I'm going to do is just get the old trusties out and just take them off the tree, and I'll start gluing them together, and I'll come back when I've got a couple of bits together. You don't need to see me glue them together. I'm sure it's pretty obvious what I'm going to do, and we'll crack on. So where are we at? What I've done, I've put the frame together, and it's a cracking little frame. Look at it. I love this. It's just so, it's just sexy, eh? It just looks great, looks race car-y, and yeah, what can I say? So what have we done? Obviously glued all the frame together, put as much as I can together because this is going to be black. And the sad thing about this is none of it's really seen once it's all put together. I noticed that when I built the SL, the 300 SL, the silver one, in a previous episode if you haven't seen it. And yeah, you put all that work in and you just don't see it. It does come with a clear floor, so you can sort of just see in. But I painted mine on the other one, and definitely will be painting it on this one. So you won't see it. But hey, look, buy the book because I know it's there, right? So I've started the modifications with the front and rear brake hubs, brake calipers and discs, and yeah, the hubs. So, and thereby, I always forget their name. They are Perfect Parts for Modelers, MGSF. Really, not sponsored by them. Really great products, 3D printed. I mean, look at the quality of it, right? I don't know if that comes out. But the discs and the calipers are just next level. And they're 3D printed, so they've got the little, yeah, you got to clean them up, but they break away like in your fingers, all the little sprue bits. And so that's where we're at. I'm going to paint this gloss black and the tie rod, and we'll make that happen. I won't put that on until I've done that because it'll dry hard, and then we'll focus on the brake pads and the calipers, and we'll get them looking pretty schmicko, and we'll get on to the next stage. Hey, I almost forgot. I've built this section, and so what tools did I use? I always like to show you guys what I'm using. So obviously, you know what that is, self-explanatory. The old faithfuls, you know them. I use one of these. So the reason why, as I'm going through the instructions, right, for those who are new to the game, just mark off as you go through each one. I still do it. I don't probably need to do it these days, but I do it anyway, because if you get distracted and you think, oh, gee, what part am I up to? So I just use one of these, highlight pen, right? I use a sanding stick from my friends at Icky Sticky. You've heard me talk about them many times. These are great for, once you've cut the sprues, and just to, go around the corners and get rid of all the little flash bits. Extra thin cement, absolute necessary for putting this frame together, or any frames really, because you don't want, let me see, you don't want to use like the liquid cement, the general liquid cement, bit too thick. You want to use the extra thin, So dab it on and it just runs in. Oh, and it dries really quick. I reckon it dries reasonably quick. There is other product in the Icky Sticky range. They do a quick set cement. So if you're having something that you need to hold with your fingers, you don't need to hold too long. So that's a good thing. And I just found, look at that. I just found a little piece. So let's, I missed one. How's that? Good thing I'm talking to you guys. I'm going to pick that up. So watch, there you go. I just, bang, job done. Right, that's it. You don't need to go excessive on the glue, because it's welding, right? It will weld the two panels together, the two bits together, or panels, or whatever you want to, bits of plastic together. So there you go. So that is the thin, and also because we've got 3D printed parts, right, and we've got to connect them, I use the medium CA glue. Okay, that's what I use. Also from Icky Sticky, I use that. That it's really good. Look, it grips everything straight away. You get a little bit of wriggle time before it goes off, so you can put it on, put it off. You get a little bit of movement, flexibility with it in putting it on. That's great. I use let's get rid of that frame before I do some damage to it. You've seen me talk about this before. This is my CA applicator. Absolutely love it. It keeps the whole job nice and clean. I've done a review on that, so if you want to check that out, go and check that out. And then and the next thing I'll be doing is priming and then colouring that bad boy. So I'm in two minds about, do I do it in a black metallic, the same paint that I'm using from Model Paint Company, who are sponsoring this build series. I'm sort of wondering if I should do the whole frame and suspension and diff assembly and all that sort of stuff in this, and then 2K it and clear, so it's really bright. But like I said, you won't see it. So I'm in two minds what I'm going to do there. So when I know, you'll know. The chassis, she's done. Roll, I don't know, not roll cage, it's more of a chassis, isn't it? It's just got tubing, so it's a tube chassis. It's come up really, really good. As you can see in just the previous bit there, I painted it all up in the gloss black. I didn't end up clearing it. I didn't think it needed it. Look, if it doesn't need it, doesn't need it, right? I mean, if you don't need to waste paint for no necessary, look at the gloss on that. That's just schmicko. So, how do I get that finish? A little tip. What I do, I just I'll show you. I just grab a little bit of semi-black, right? This is done in the acrylic, and some stuff that I had on board, and I just put a little bit of leveler, and that just slows down the curing time, and it stops your needle drying up on your gun a little bit faster. And look at the finish, right? It's not as good as, it's probably not as good as the 2K finish with the 2-pack finish on it, but it's pretty close. And like I've said before in the previous, you're not going to see any of it, unfortunately, because there's a lot of work that goes into this, and it really is quite a beautiful chassis. So that's done. So where are we at next? Right, I've got the rims. I've got the rims in primer. Check out these bad boys. Yeah, how cool are they going to look? Still a bit undecisive on colour. Oh, you know what it's like. You sort of, you toy around with 400 million types of colour in your head before you actually get there. That's what I do. And this is for me. If it was a customer build, that would be so much easier. I'd just say, what do you want? So here's the Toyo tyre. Okay, so that's going to go on there. So these, look at this, look how thick they are. It's going to be a real, the old Fatboy is starting to look good. So that's done. I've got one of the discs done. Let's get that out of there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get my light down. That's probably better. Okay, so the disc is done. I've just got to clear that and gloss. So we'll put that back before we put them on. Okay, so I want them to pop a bit. And the brake caliper. They're going to be, oh, that's not coming out too clear, is it? They are going to be the same colour as the interior, and I'm still procrastinating, and I'm very close to painting these. So I've got to get myself, I've got to get myself into gear. So that's where we're at with the rolling chassis so far. Oh, I've started the engine. So I'm probably going to do it in gloss black. I'm not going to follow what the original one, because we're going to change the top a little bit so it looks all sexy and nice. And I've got the tank made up. And like I said, you know, even with the engine, you don't see the bottom, you only see the little bit at the top. So the amount of detail that I'll put into this will still be good, but it's really, you don't see much of it. So that's the fuel tank. We'll get that all glossed up in the black, and I probably should have done that at the same time. That wasn't very smart of me. And then I've got all the engine bits sort of ready to go. So I'll crack on with that, and when I get something else to show you, I'll come back. So let's bring some light in. Where are we at with the Fatboy? Oh, seriously, I am having a... This is okay. I've got some other builds on the go. The Lambo, yeah, had a paint issue. The Mercedes 722 build, crack paint. Oh my goodness. And now I thought I'll put them aside, and now I'm back on the Fatboy, and the wheels don't fit. Well, when I say they don't fit, they sit a bit too proud. And normally what I do, I dry fit everything first, right? So I don't end up with these problems, right? And I went ahead and painted the chassis. I had to paint the chassis. And by the way, it fits perfect. It's so nice. Let me just get that in there for you. It fits so nice. And then I had to put the hubs on and the discs and the brakes, right? So I figured I had to glue them in. So I figured I'd paint them as well, right? So the issue isn't with these, okay? So everything's really good, because normally I don't like to paint anything until the very last minute, because, you know, when you're manhandling these things, you can scratch stuff, right? But I haven't scratched anything on this so far, and I don't want to, even though most of it's hidden. But, you know, you don't want to, right? But the problem I'm having is the 3D printed rims are, the base is too long. So I've just, which one have I started on? I've just started to machine that back. I've got my old trusty tool, and then I'm just machining it down, okay? Because what's happening is, I'll show you real quickly. Let me get the right wheels, okay? Let's just see how it's sitting too proud. And I've started with this one, and straight away it's already back in a bit. So we really want them sitting flush under there. So, but looking good, right? So I'll crack on. I'll just show you. I'll get the other rim on. So at this stage, you know, I try and be super careful, right? Because things are painted, things are glued in, and you don't want to stuff it up. So everything's looking really good. The wheels line up. The gaps are really good, and they're low profile tires. And I'll tell you one thing too, I've got to say, I'll just get that off. We'll fix this. It's just I'm having a frustrating time of building scale models for a bloody living. I'll get rid of that, and I'll bring in a tyre. Let me just, because you've got to have the tyres at the rear are bigger, right? So, okay, watch this, right? This is how good 3D is, right? Watch this. Just goes into place. You don't even need to glue them, right? They just sit there beautiful. And if you need to take them out, and that's with painted. That's painted as well. How cool's that? 3D printing. Wish I had that when I was a kid. So yeah, few issues. Got my old trusty tool, which you've seen in my other episodes. I love this thing. So we'll machine them down, and then once I get them fitting really good, I'll come back and show you. I'll come back and show you the end product. See you later. Okay, got these wheels fitting. Finally, got them machined down. I've taken them apart. I've taken the tyres off because I'm up to the next stage. Hey, I didn't mention the colour. I don't think I did. So, Saltron Gold Metallic. Yeah. So, from the series sponsor Model Paint Company. Yeah, looks good. I haven't even cleared these yet, right? So I'm going to give these a nice little coat of 2K clear. I'm just waiting until I got a couple of other things ready to clear, so I can sort of, because once I make up the clear, right, you know, once it's made, you got to use it, and then whatever you don't use, you don't get much time left, so you have to discard it. So I'm kind of building up all the 2K clear stuff. Hope that makes sense. So, but anyway, they're fitting really, really nice now. That's happening. And where am I at now with the Fatboy? I've had a little bit of a burst of energy. I got the tank in. So what I decided, oh gee, it's a good paint, eh? That's off my .5 airbrush. I don't think I've showed you guys my airbrush. This is the duck's guts. So there, look at that. I normally don't show people. I don't have a reason why I don't, but that is schmicko. That's pro level stuff. So from the USA, of course, you know they know how to make them. So there you go. So what I did, this is 0.5, so I've actually got it set up for the metallic. So the finish, have a look at the finish. That hasn't even got any clear on it. Look at that. So I've decided not to clear it because I sort of kind of wanted a semi sort of gloss finish. I didn't want a full gloss. I thought, well, yeah, that might look a bit wanky if I go full gloss. So I decided just to leave it in the straight metallic off the gun, and it's just, you know, hey, that, you know, good paint and a good airbrush equals good results, right? Oh, you know, you need some skills, and you learn them, right? You learn your skills like everybody else. If you're a bit unsure, I'm bringing out a video later on how to paint like a pro. So hopefully I'll get on that soon. But anyway, so I've got that done. I digressed a bit and having a bit of a waffle there, so I do apologise. Got the engine in. Yeah. And I'm glad I just went the straight black, glossy black. It's kind of working for me. So I've got the engine in, and as you can see, I'm just starting to modify. Oh my goodness. I'm just starting to modify the engine. So it's going to have a nice little engine cover on there, and that's going to be the same color as the manifold cover there. So, and then I'm just working on it now. I've got a nice little cover. And that's going to sit down. As you can see, I've tapered it. I hope that comes out okay. Let me just drop my light. I hope that comes out. So it's, where's Pointer? Pointer, where are you? Where's Pointer? There we are, Pointer. So it's tapered, and that is going to drop in there somehow. No. Other way, you dick. That's going to drop in there. Like, yay. And that's going to be part of the air cleaner. So, I've got some fine tuning to do there. I wasn't going to do anything. I thought, well, you know what? You're getting out of that lightly there, old boy. You need to step up your game a bit and make it a bit harder. So that's going to sit in there. It's perfect this side. It's just a little bit lower on that side, so it's sort of kind of sitting, I don't know where I get my English from, Fernicum. It sits kind of low a little bit, so I'm going to build that up a little bit. So that's where we're at. So let's just get that off, and there you go. The engine's sitting there good. I've had a few people reach out to me and say, oh, geez, you're going to drop a different donk in it? And yeah, look, I thought about it, and I thought, no, let's just stick with the original motor, and let's tart it up, right? Let's make it look better. So, like I said, I've got this panel in there. That's just obviously just sitting in there, and we'll get it all looking schmicko on the dicko. And, another little quick update. I've got the interior colour. How cool's that? Obviously that sits right down in there and goes up into there. So I needed to start that now, because when we come around this side, this is going to be gloss black. So the engine bay is going to be gloss black. I don't really, apart from the little engine feature, I want it to all just blend in and kind of just, I don't know. I don't need a highlight under here. I just want it to be clean. And I'm making up, I don't know if I mentioned before, there's going to be an engine bay trim to go over it, and that's going to keep that nice and clean. So on the firewall on this side, normally it's got like the washer bottle and those sort of bits and pieces. Nah, you're not going to see any of that. It's going to be just clean. And that will be painted, that bit of panel there, I think will be painted in the same colour as the interior. I'm not 100% sure, but this air cover, I think that's going to be in the same colour as the interior, but just with 2K gloss on top. So sort of, I think I could show you there. It's going to sit like yay. So that's where we are at. I've still got the tail shaft to paint. And when I have something else, when I get all this sort of done and cleaned up and whatever's, I'll come back and show you where we're at with the rolling chassis next. So the rolling chassis on the Fatboy, it's done. Yeah, it looks okay. I haven't put the hubcaps on yet because I'll put them on later, because I've got to 2K the wheels, and like I said previously, that I'll wait till I've got a lot of 2K stuff ready to go, and then I'll clear it all at once, because once I make it, that's it. So I've got the little piece that sits in there, and that's the same deal. I haven't glued that down yet because I want to clear coat that in 2K, so I'll leave that till then. And also I had to start to put in a little bit of the interior just so I could get the firewall in to hold some of the stuff. Well, it's actually not holding anything, but that's sort of part of the engine bay that needed to go in. So the little covers, the little valve covers, I think they're valve covers, they're painted in the same colour as the wheels, and the airbox cover trim thingamajiggery that pokes through the bonnet, that's in the same colour as the wheels as well. Fuel tank in the same colour, but remember what I said, I've let that semi-gloss, so I haven't cleared it, and it looks good. The only chrome, and I said there was no chrome going on, let me get rid of that. The only chrome is just the on the radiator overflow bottle. I was going to paint that in the wheel colour, but I still might. You know, it's like you sort of get around it. So I've got a couple of little brush touches to do where the pipe's joined and that sort of stuff in the gloss. I've actually run out of gloss black, so I need to get some more. So there you go. There's the rolling chassis, pretty much complete. So I'll put the body on and I'll come back and show you. Rightio. So, gee, that I'm glad I didn't show you me putting all that together. It's so fiddly to get together. There is a sequence. You've got to put the back in first, and then the back in first. I'll just get that tile out of there. You got to get the back in first. Pull these sides out just a little bit because obviously the frame goes in, and then at the last minute you put in the front. So it's all in. So that's it. I'll get that just sitting right there. I mean, I know it's not glued in. All right. So there you go. That's the rolling chassis on the Fatboy. That wheel's sticking out. I've still got to deal with that one. All the others are trimmed in, except the front two need a little bit more, but that's predominantly, that's it. So what's next? Going to get a start on the interior, and then I might dry fit it, put it all together, just make sure it's all good. And then we're sort of good to go with the interior. So I'll just put the tub in and just make sure everything clears. I'll put the doors on, and then so I'll do a final dry fit of doors, interior. Primer's been drying for ages, so it's pretty much ready to go now. So we're sort of slowly getting down to less and less manhandling, being brutal. And we should be right. I just noticed, see on the front there, just from manhandling it, it hasn't chipped it. It's just worn away that little edge. So, pays to do all this manhandling before you go ahead and put your top coat on, right? Because once we put this pearl green on, there ain't no going back, baby. It's on, it's on. You can't patch it in. You'd have to repaint the whole thing again. And with the luck I've been having lately in the paint shop, I definitely don't want to do that. So we'll leave it to the last minute. So like I said, I think the next stage will be just to dry fit the interior, put the doors on, and we'll go from there. So that's it. See you on the next episode. Hey, if you like the content, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. And if you've got comments, get back to me, right? I really enjoy them. They're really good. I'm learning a lot from people sort of, asking me stuff. And because if I don't have the answer right, I'll definitely get it. Particularly, if it's a technical question about some paint or primer, and if I'm not 100% sure, because, I've been doing this so long, I just do it right, and I don't want to mislead. So I try and get, if I don't know the answer 100%, I'll go and get it and I'll let you know. And I'll put it in English so it's really easy to understand. I'll put it in layman's terms. So there you go. So that's the end of the episode. We'll crack on with the next episode coming to a YouTube near you. See you later.